Why? Because you know a gun skill team's always going to have the advantage, as I'm sure we will see now as the game is ready and we will be jumping into Oregon.
Absolutely, we will. Well, let's see how this one plays out. We've seen Oregon once already today. Let's see how these two teams can play it out. Xenos versus Radix for the final game of the evening.
So yeah, starting on that bottom floor defense like we did see previously in that last matchup, we will be seeing again this kitchen hold which we did see previously, as we do see that impact nade going straight in towards that stockroom cupboard and then eventually rotating in towards that main kitchen area. And another thing, we're seeing a mirror window played up here, which is also quite curious.
So not really going for the kitchen hold as such, but they are definitely keeping angles into the kitchen if nothing else and just going for that meeting room hold. Again, very, very nice to have all of these hatches covered off as well. We've seen a couple of times where we've had the hard breach denied on both teams. However, for Xenos, they've taken both Thermite and the Hibana. So they are prepared maybe to get a peek out here and someone goes down. They still have a way of getting down into this basement without forcing themselves down only one of the two available channels.
That's one thing from the lineup we've seen in Oregon was that typically Vexed and 1UP only brought either. They didn't bring both the either, but Thermite or Hibana never brought both, which did affect both teams in some way or another, as we did see sometimes that 1UP could get hatches off and then also Vex couldn't get the hatches off, which then kind of did force them then to start pushing in towards that little box area, which has been a complete death trap as we have seen in the last matchup.
Well, having a bit of a scout around, trying to find out where those roamers may be. Looks like they won't find the one that is actually set upstairs at present, just keeping his eye on the cameras himself. In fact, going to get his drone on the roam downstairs to see what the setup looks like. What's the damage that's been done to meeting room? How much have they torn those walls down to make some nice little holes to go creeping through? It's late in the evening. I'm going to talk a lot of rubbish this game. Let's not lie.
I would imagine that with this impact hold, it of course gives them lines of sight in towards this kitchen area, of course. But we do see some aggressive play coming out from Pat, as that is going to be the Thermite off the board. But again, still Hibana's going to be up, of course, so it's not the biggest issue. And also having that kitchen impact need does then give a really nice rotation, as we do see Whiskers get the kill on the Pat, which now does even it up. As we do then see Wine going to get the kill on the Fabia. That's going to be Jaeger and the Ayla out of commission for the defensive team.
That could have gone either way in that one headshot trade, but it was the Ash who came out on top. And so far, Xenos are the ones coming out on top with the 2-1 scoreline. A minute and a half left to play. They've not dealt with every single roamer. There is still one hanging upstairs in meeting room. But overall, that pinch from Capone might be what wins this round out for them. The surprise that can happen when someone just strolls into this room and finds themselves gunned down. He's going to try and take out the drone. Takes him a good few shots. He says his droning phase is poor. Apparently, so are his drone elimination skills. But lurking upstairs, he's still waiting. The members downstairs, they've got to be feeling pretty exposed right now as these grenades are raining down. The hatch is open. This feels very reminiscent to one of my ranked games from yesterday, where you find yourself in a very, very dangerous spot. One of the defenders goes down. Melons gets taken out, going to crawl, but gets himself gunned down by TW.
Looking at this play from Xenos, they're just saying, okay, we know Pony's upstairs, we know he's up the attic, let's just put a whole lot of claymores and then just now and again just rotating, looking to see where he is. We do see Kenders go for that check, but then Pony is going to get better off him, but then straight away we're going to see Whiskers get the trade out. Now it all lies on Quake. No gas canisters, 30 seconds to go. Flash grenades are going to come in, Diffuser's going to go down, and this is going to be looking to go in Xenos' favour.
Oh, almost gets the one pink there as well. Tries to spray back, but doesn't catch TW with any of those shots. Bit of a wildfire coming out of TW there. Just wants to escape that awkward situation. Quake has 1 HP left, but gets 1 kill. Can he find himself the second, looking back towards the stairs once more? No, he will not. Has a frag. That's not really going to help, but walks in front of the hatch and gets himself gunned down by Willis. And Radix, Xenos take the first round.
Again, a great clear out of the roamers coming out from Xenos. I think that the way that they had the coordination, especially having, I believe it was about 3 people pushing in at all the same time, of course. Whiskers went really big in there with a free K, and it was, again, like we were talking about, it was very, very close. I believe it was Pat playing that Ayla. It was very, could have went either way. It looked a bit, I thought it was a bit of a headshot there onto Ash, but I think it might have been round about that shoulder area, but Siege is Siege. Hit Reg is hit Reg.
I'll take these quick 10 seconds to say, and a quick apology to the guys at Six Nation. It's not Six Invitational, as I keep on calling you on Twitter. They are the guys providing the stats. If you want to give them a quick follow, Six Nation HQ on Twitter. They have got all the wonderful votes and polls. Every week, I imagine we'll do one of them. I'd love to see, actually, as the weeks go by, how people's perceptions changes. Because in 4 or 5 weeks' time, if we look back at these stats and say, well, actually, at the start, people thought Vex were going to lose and they come out on top. Suddenly, if everyone's going, yeah, Vex, man, then we know everyone is a very, very shallow fan and is just sticking to the boys who are at the top. Anyway, let's get into the second round and see how Radix do on their attacking round. Picking up the Capitao. Now, you commented on this earlier on and said you've seen a couple of rounds where the Capitao has actually won. For the most part, we don't really seeing a picture pull that often, though.
I think Capitao is in a bit of a hard place at the moment. His gun doesn't do enough damage yet. I say yet because we'll get onto that later. His gadget is just a little bit underwhelming, in my opinion. The Capora arrows, I don't think have a big enough radius for my liking. I think maybe if they up it by just like 5 centimeters, then maybe it might make a bit of a difference. And then, of course, then smoke grenades, they do come in useful, especially with the Yings and the Glazes that we have seen being played quite a bit. It's been on the uprise, I would say. But for the most part, like I was saying about yet, is that actually in the mid-season reinforcements, which is coming out in like another 2 weeks, we will be seeing a Capitao buff. Capitao did get nerfed early on.
It's a 2 damage increase on his gun, isn't it? He's getting.
I think it's more than that.
Or was it 43 to 48 maybe? I know it's quite...
Is it not like...
I think he's going up to 48 either way.
Yeah, I think it's like, was it not 41, I believe it was?
I can't remember. I think it's going quite
It's going really big. And apparently people playing on TTS say that it's a really good gun now and it might give now a bit more viability for Capitao. And it also equally, will he possibly come and replace Ashe? Because as we all know, the Ashe is also going to receive a nerf. Her R4C is going to get decrease in damage from 41 to 38. It'd
be interesting to see if she does go, but however, I think a lot with Ashe, it's the 3 speed, it's how quickly she can breach into these points that makes her very threatening. It's not all about the gun. Of course, the gun is what will win you those kills, but for her, there are so many strengths in a kit that you just can't ignore.
Especially being able just to breaching around barbed wire and running straight away with flash grenades, it's a really big advantage on just winning them gunfights over defenders.
Absolutely. All goes to the long-range peak. They almost managed to catch each other, but TW is going to lose that one out as Fabia takes him down into a 4v4. We go. Radix still on attack with 1.5 minutes left to play with. They'll be out their sledge. They still have all of their breaching options available on with no muse on the other side. Imagine they're feeling pretty good about their chances about getting all of these hatches open and finding a way onto the point. Oh, that's a free one. Come on.
That's a great awareness from Kenders, knowing that somebody's going to be upside in that attic. But equally, we are going to see another trailer as we are going to see Whiskers. He's going to fall.
Well, it's pretty much 1 for 1 at this point. If things keep up, though, they will be the ones coming out top as they're the ones finding all these early kills. Here comes Quake. He's got hold of that Capitao, firing out. Almost getting himself tagged down to a 3rd HP. They just want to get as much cover down as they can before they push in, but that smoke will deny them. In fact, he gets downed. And here comes the plant. They're going to see what they can do. Melons gets it down in the corner. Nice safe spot to be in. They're going to throw out the C4, see who they can catch. They do not manage to catch him with the diffuser. And with that down in the corner, they can surely go and play safe. No, they can't. They've still got 1 member down and injured. I don't know if they can cover this as things are.
Still going to be a 1v1 as it stands again. We are going to see most people down at the moment. I believe it's going to be 3 out of 5 of the last remaining attackers and defenders are going to be down. And now this is going to have to be a really good retake coming out from Xenos to secure this. Possibly he might be hitting the diffuser as we speak. Oh, he's not, as I possibly thought having that smoke grenade coverage, then he could have went and go for the defuse. But at the moment we are going to see him pick up the shotgun kills. Last one up is going to be the Ashe, but I think Floki was expecting him to be up at that hatch area, but instead he does push down that main stairs. We are going to see Radix pick up their first round.
Looking the wrong way a little bit there, it felt. Understandably so. It's quite hard in the 1v1 situation as the defender with a bomb under your feet, knowing which way to look. And look at Fabia steaming ahead with 5 kills at the top of his team's leaderboard. Radix at least bring it out to 1-on-1. Now, in terms of how things have gone so far, it's quite hard to draw and say where a definitive win-loss scenario has come from for either team. It just feels like in the last kind of final few moments or final few kills of the round, things are definitely determined in the dying moments rather than in the strategy in the early gunplay.
Yeah, I would say that the Ashes have been playing exceptionally well. We've seen Whiskers do well, and then we've also just seen equally Fabia do well, which is the kind of guy I was expecting to go big for this team. I know he's very capable of slaying just like the rest of them can. And for the most part, I think that the Radix push there was very thought out. They knew exactly, okay, let's take control of this meeting area. Once we know meeting's clear, then we just start putting all of our equipment in towards that laundry room and then go for that plant.
Absolutely. Well, let's see how they can do with their own downstairs defense if this works out for them. And they can start pulling ahead and bringing the map to a close. However, that is a long way off yet. At least 3 rounds. Could turn out to be far more. Of course, we find ourselves going into overtime, going for the meeting room hold. Now, this is what I spoke about. We see this quite a lot in the Pro League, especially where you basically start off with most of your members upstairs. When things start going south or you start taking a lot of pressure and you're worried about losing members, you drop down. The key thing being that you waste their time on meeting room. They then have to go and assault downstairs as well. And before you know it, they're running out of time and they've got to panic, and then that's when the mistakes start being made, members start dropping, and you start winning the round.
Typically, whenever I'm attacking Oregon, you need to make sure you're pushing down them stairs for the plant by about a minute. Because if you do it any later, if you do it at the 30-second mark, then that's whenever the gas canisters are going to start being chucked out, and then the time's just going to start ticking down, and then eventually the defenders will win because the attackers don't have the resources to then clear out any more of the mirror windows. Again, Capito would probably be a very good operator to stop any smokes being chucked out, as he can put a cap arrow directly into where smoke would be peeking in and out with the smoke grenades, which would be one of the only reasons why typically I would pick Capo for this attack.
Well, they've got the buck onside. Kinder's not quite like a Kinder Egg, is going to be coming in there with some explosive impact once he starts getting those walls down. Of course, being reinforced is going to find himself in a spot of bother to do so. Still trying to siege this meeting room. This is what we spoke about. They've got to clear this out because they can't go and siege the point knowing that the upper ground advantage would be given over to the defending side. Getting the drones in to try and spot out who's in there. Radix holding firm for now.
Seems to be a 3-2 split here as 2 defenders on the site, and we also have 2 people in the meeting, and also let's not forget about Pony up in the attic playing that drop hatch. We do see a couple of trades going out there, as we do see them Pat trading out the kill on the TW. Whiskers and gets killed on to Fabian. Melons gets the C4, and then also Pony gets the kill, and now it's going to be Xenos in a very, very bad situation here, as it is going to be only 2 members left. It is going to be Kenders and also Floki left against the remaining 4 defenders.
Bit of a tough one for them, you've got to say, but with the odds stacked against them, that's where we've seen a lot of members of teams shine today. Everyone remembers that incredible the 1v5, I guess you could say. It was all him on his own, just the whole round. It was. Everyone remembers that from earlier on from Reaction, so hopefully we see some more big plays like that coming out. However, with the defensive positions being held by Radix and all 4 members holding this down well, the smoke's onside, going to peek around the corner, gets the diffuser down, now it's a 4 versus 1. Kinders manages to pick off Pat, but it's still a 1 versus 3. Looking upstairs and gets sprayed from downstairs, watching the wrong angle there, my friend. And of course, Radix pull themselves ahead, 2-1.
So looking at that defense, they gain a lot of aggression coming out from their roamers. I think that maybe next time Xenos should try and pressure that attic, bring the Thermite. Start Thermite and open that big tower, maybe start Thermite and open the attic facing towards that master bedroom side, of course, which would really help them a lot, as it gets rid of Pony upstairs playing the attic, which has been quite a nuisance for Xenos pushing in, and also then it gives them that availability to that drop hatch, which then allows them to start picking off the roamers in behind sandbags, and then also trying to rotate down towards the drop hatches as well.
Absolutely. Well, let's see if we move away from downstairs. It looks like yes will be the answer, going towards Kid Dorms upstairs. Now, we saw this earlier on, and it was quite scrappy, enjoyable to watch, but very, very scrappy between Vexed and 1UP, I believe it was, early on. Lots of blitz play coming through. It was pretty beautiful to watch, you have to say, but ultimately didn't yield too many results when assaulting, too many, what am I thinking of here? Rewards, that's the one, when sieging upstairs. Look, come on, I'm late. I'm late? No, I'm old, it's late. Look, this is horrible. You start talking now, please, go on.
So, looking at the defense from Xenos, we do see the mirror being picked. We didn't previously see that being played in the last series between 1UP and Vex. This time, I believe he's probably going to put one inside that Kids, as we do see. Where's the last one going? Is it possibly White Stairs or maybe inside that master bedroom area? It looks to be master bedroom area because them 2 reinforcements are already done. We will have to see where they do go. And also, this is actually going to be a very good pick because we're not seeing any buck on the side of Radix. Only the sledge, really, but again, Sledge can only just use the 2 frag grenades. He can't sledge the roof, of course.
I mean, you can swing around like a bit of a madman with a hammer in, you know, an abandoned house, but it's not really going to yield too many results for the attackers.
But for the most part, I think Mir's going to be a very good pick now for this bedroom, especially with no buck on the side of Radix.
Well, starting to poke their noses in, just going knock knock, who's home? Johnny's in the window with his axe, or in some cases the hammer from Sledge. No big push being made yet, but Whisker is going to try and peek this window and get self-tagged down, but TW knows he was there. He was going for the response kill and does pick it up. And this seems to be the theme of today, really, is trade kills time and time again until the die moments of a round, in which case all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've just talked about so much, is that is a sign of a good team. If you just have a team which somebody dies and then everybody else just dies, it's not a good team. You always need to have that trade out, always keeping the level terms, because level terms always keeps it in that situation where what's going to happen next. Because typically if we see a 4v1 advantage, everybody knows how that's going to end up. So it just gives that little bit of mystery, and neither team really knows, okay, it's a 3v3, we're both equal here, what we're going to do now?
Here comes the push, gets the nade in there, takes out the barbed wire and thinks that's my time to push. Must have seen that gun on the corner. He knows someone is sat behind that corner. He's going to wait for the peek. Looks away for a second, but might get C4. No, C4 does not travel far enough. A bit of a panic maybe on the defender's side. They can see a head popping up at the end, and Capone is going to be happy to take that one clean off his shoulders. 4 versus 2 for Xenox. Radix, or for Radix I should say, are the ones pushing in. 3 versus 2 now. Can they close it out? 3 versus 1. Capone is on fire this round. Your drone skills may not be, but that gunplay most definitely is.
So now looking, possibly Kinders could clutch this up. He's in a great position. He does have access to rotate in towards that master bedroom, and then vice versa in towards this armory, in towards this box armory push, of course. And now looking at it, he does manage to down one, but the big factor is going to be Habana Station outside on this connector window, which is going to shut down his attempt into crossing in towards that kid's bedroom to try and kill Twitch. But for the most part, it does seem to be Radix is going to go 3-1 up inside this match.
That was very ballsy to run straight across that window, but it's worth. He's got behind them here, but Quake has his number, and Kinders will be dropped. Radix take yet another round. They're looking pretty good now. Got into the swing of things after all these hours of watching other teams. Starting to get the engines revving, and they are rolling away with this game.
Definitely seems to be more action-packed, I would say. It's Radix are definitely coming out all guns blazing here at the moment. Pony and Fabia playing very, very well for their teams, but equally, again, the other support players are also equally playing well.
They are, and I like it. I like that we're seeing this level of aggression come from Radix somewhat. Those coordinating attacks upstairs there for a second look really, really good. Both on defense as well, they've looked pretty solid. Yeah, losing a couple of members here and there. It's quite natural on the defending side, I think. But I like what they're doing. I think it's working out for them. And Xenos are struggling to take a round back. They took that first one, but since then, it's been all Radix.
Yeah, so let's see if Xenos can possibly pull it back, get a bit of momentum behind their side. I believe this is going to be then Radix's, going to be their first defense of the kid's bedroom. We do see that mirror being picked and also a castle. So let's see where these castle barricades are going to be used. Possibly we might see them used round about that armory area, or just to stop just the window play coming out from Xenos. Possibly we'll see some castle barricades go down on some of the main high traffic windows, such as this connector window, which is probably one of the most influential windows on Oregon, because it just gives so much access to that small domes area as well as any of the crosses.
I like they've opened up the outside here as well, so they have this view downstairs into what's going on through Attic, and they can see all the way through into meeting room. Great rotation hole for them to play around. Whereas sometimes that often gets reinforced up, so you don't get the same plays happening to you. So they're choosing to keep it open, make sure they have that full view into Attic.
So we do see the buck being picked once again.
Finally.
And I'd imagine we're going to see then the kitchen is going to be pushed, coming out from Kinders. But at the moment, he's kind of throwing me off because he's starting to rappel up to the master bedroom. Something that we typically don't see from a buck. We usually want him below, destroying, not trying to fight them head on with the gun, of course. This is where now this mirror window is going to be very vulnerable from below. So if Kinders does realise, hold on, I can go below and get rid of this. And I'm sure that's probably what he's going to do, but he does have to be careful of any roamers downstairs, as well as that Jaeger playing aggressive on that main stairs.
It feels like a lot of it was to get that drone upstairs because they didn't feel they had the necessary intelligence to start assaulting from kitchen. Now they know where this mirror window is. He knows where he needs to go in kitchen to be able to shoot upstairs and take that mirror out. That gives the rest of his team a chance to crush in. Almost gets a couple of shots down there onto the enemy side. Just taking a little bit of health off of the Jaeger. Nothing notable, though, that will bring in any trouble just yet.
Nope, not at the moment. It seems to be that they want control of this armory, which then, of course, tells me that it's going to be vice versa, going to be an armory, not an armory take, a box take, as we do see Pony get a kill, as well as Fabia getting a kill, but then Fabia is going to be downed by that Thermite. And let's see if Xenos can pull it back from a 5v3 deficit, of course, as we do see then Floki repel in. He does know that Jaeger was downed, and that does put it into a 4v3.
No one can really rotate there because you'd have to run all the way through connector, run down towards stairs, run past that huge open window inside the bedroom. It just wouldn't have been a good call, so unfortunately he does have to go down for his sins. Now in a 4 versus 2, Radix once again in a commanding position in this round and a very solid defense thanks to all these castle walls that have gone up.
Having that castle barricade there stops any defender or any attacker just pushing in towards that little safe spot. Again, that just gives you, okay, I'm inside now, let me just stick a wee drone in and then push from there, of course. We did, however, then see a great kill coming out from Whiskers, but 50 seconds on the clock. And they have no way of getting in towards the bomb site except the white staircase and then also that main armory door as well as the windows. But some of them have been castled off, so it's going to be very difficult for Xenos. And especially if they're still trying to hunt roamers at 30 seconds into the round.
Roamers are causing absolute grief because it's more so that for Radix, they've been pulling defenders off and sending them to go and roam because they know the hassle is going to cause the opposition side. And they've got to watch out here for as they try and push into this point, any angles they've got flashed, the pair of them are going to have to hang back even longer. 20 seconds left on the clock. They've even got one coming up through Attic who will watch that connector if they're not careful. There goes one, almost gets the second, but no. Whiskers will get the kill onto Quake. However, Melons is lurking and Wills goes down with a headshot. Radix take round 5.
And this is going to go into match point off this first map. And looking at this stage of the game, I'm going to say that Radix are probably going to take this now.
From how things have looked, yes. From what we've seen from the games today, no. We've seen reverse sweeps, we've seen matches completely turn on their head as soon as the map changes. I think a lot can still change, and I think it'd be quite wrong to write Xenos off. Yes, I would argue that they haven't shined as brightly as Radix have, but Willis especially to me has had some really good plays, as has Cryptic TW. It's looked good, and Kinder's equally. I've got to say, Kinder's a couple of times earlier on definitely shined. I think in their first round was his kind of standout performance. Aside from that, he has been a little bit quiet, though. So all the engines are kind of revving up for Radix. For Xenos, they're still getting started with this one. Got to get things moving quick, though. Otherwise, you find yourself going the same way as 1-up, and you'll be 0-2 down in this first week.
One thing that I was talking to Weingum about is that he is missing one of their players. That is going to be Murph. He, again, is a past Pro League player, played for U4X. Again, most of these guys have played each other for years in Pro League. And unfortunately, he can't make it the first couple of weeks. But Weingum did say he'll be back then for like week 4. And I honestly think that he could possibly make a difference into the Xenos lineup because I know how good he is as an Ash player.
Will be the big difference for them, like you say, but that's of course much further away than what this game is. This is much closer. Going for the intel plays once again. We love talking about this info and intel gathering with the Valkyrie and the Mirror on side. Xenos going to dig in deep, plant their heels and try their best to stop them from being moved by what feels like the unstoppable force of Radix at this point, and quite rightly so. A lot of people, we said earlier on, were kind of writing Radix off or painting them as the winners quite decisively. From how they've played against Xenos, again with 4 former Pro League players, they're definitely standing up to them and going, look, we may be new, but we know exactly what we're doing, and we're going to show you what for. Having said that, Willis opens up the kill scoring by picking off Capone.
So we are looking to go for this top floor bomb site. We do see the Capitao being picked by Radix. I would imagine that is going to be just picked primarily because they would have thought that it would be then a downstairs push that they're going to have to deal with. Looking at it, no buck wants the game, so they can't go for any kitchen destructibility or any of the armory via destructibility. So now they are going to have to clear it out just with sheer gun skill instead of using any angles from below with the destructibility operators, of course. I would imagine that Master Bedroom is going to be the area that they're going to want to push in from. We do see TW getting a kill on the Fabia. It's going to be then the Ashau Commission, who's been playing very well. And at this moment, we do see Xenos just sticking strong and just waiting for Radix to start pushing.
Trying to find their way in. Again with the Capitao on side as well, trying to see what angles they can open up or at least smoke out to get their way in. Got to watch out for that bedroom off to the right-hand side. There was some sprays going to come through, and they do finally find out one of those cameras from the Valkyrie.
We did see Pat getting taken out, taking out the Ayla there in that situation. That is going to be a really big entry frag. As you see then Melons get the trade out on 2 Whiskers. That is going to be then the 2 roamers out of commission. for Xenos in this situation. We still do have Valkyrie alive, which is going to be a very big operator in this push, as she does have that C4, of course, and then also the Valkyrie shotgun, which is going to be amazing at decimating these attackers at very close range, of course. Also, Wangum has a C4, which he can, of course, chuck out and stop any plants coming in from that box area. But at the moment, still, Xenos just holding strong. Great shot from Wangum through them metal bars. And now it has put Radix into almost gripping up now and pushing in towards this box area, which we've talked about it a lot, that we don't think teams should just start gripping up and then split their resources and try and pressure from different angles.
Absolutely, but sometimes grouping up is the only real strategy you have, but Wingum has got one strategy, and it's called taking the heads off the enemy team, and so far seems to be working to great success. Xenos may find themselves going 4-2 if they can close this round out with only the Habana left, and very low on options it feels. It could be their time to shine. Go for that head peek again. Just missing out on the headshot there with that very low spray. Rotating back around to the side. Going to try a different angle to pick someone off, but struggling at the minute, it seems, to find the best opportunity. Another Valkyrie camera gone. Not that it matters when there's only 10 seconds left on the clock. Going to have to run and gun and hope for the best here. Watch out to your right-hand side. Watch out from every angle, my friend, as he is going to get dropped by TW. And Xenos finally get themselves back into the game.
Great defense. I would say them early picks for them roamers definitely did influence that round a lot. Being able to pick off the main slayers for the attacking team is always going to be crucial, as then Radix is then going to have to rely on their lesser gun skilled players, which going up against then some of the best roamers is going to be very difficult. But in the end, Radix almost did pull it back. They did bring it back to a 3-3. They did manage to kill them two roamers in that armory area, of course, and they could have took it.
Absolutely they could. Well, let's now turn our attention towards round 7. It's 4-2 to Radix. They've looked really good all game long. Xenos had a pretty good round there, admittedly, on the defense. Radix kind of looked a bit lost, and in fact almost had their own strategy turned back on them, because they all funneled onto the east side of the map trying to push through, and Xenos were just more than prepared for that.
Yeah, looking at the way that Radix have dealt with their laundry room, especially with their defense, they've played very aggressive for such a very slow hold, in my opinion. I think that a lot of teams take it really slow. They wait for the attacking team to start pushing in. They start using their smoke grenades, use the mirror windows. But at the moment, Radix are just trying to kill them before they can even start pushing down the stairs, which again is a very aggressive playstyle. Of course, we're not used to it as much, but it's working for them. So I would say that the Radix just keep doing what you're doing, and at the moment, Xenos can't cope with it.
Very standard defense once again in the meeting room, just keeping an eye on the upstairs so that the downstairs is safe. We've seen a bit of a few scrappy rounds coming in on the downstairs assault. I've got to ask as well, we don't see many teams go for a construction side assault. In fact, I think the only time we've seen it is Vex when they rushed us 5.
I wouldn't call that construction push.
I'd call it construction rush. Forget the P, yeah. Bring in the R, and that's exactly what we saw. Well,
sometimes you see construction push. It would have to be very thought out. I know Enix does it. If you're going to go for a construction push, the main thing that you need to do is take control of Big Tower and then take control of that meeting room. Don't even bother going and pushing in towards that lobby area, because then that's going to have to allow you to then start running upstairs, and that just takes even more time. Once you gain control of Big Tower and you gain control of meeting room, that's really all you need. You get open the drop patches, and then you start getting that Thermite in, and again, Ying's a great operator for that, of course. Again, Montagne would be very good, and also Glaz, so really, their smoke plays, of course, are going to be big in them scenarios, and that'll be the main way you want to try and go for that construction push.
Peekaboo. They know everyone. They know that each other's here, but none of them really willing to commit to it just yet. They'll wait for the angle. Thinks maybe you've dropped off. Nope. Still pushing forward. Whisker trying to find a kill that he can. He has drone assistance, and rightly so. He's going to run away, but it doesn't matter because Capone gets tagged through the hatch, and they abandon everything, lose a bunch of gadgets, and that's a great take of the attic.
Still, Fabia, though, is going to be upstairs, but I do speak to Sinus. He did get lit up quite a bit in that engagement with TW, and now I'd imagine is going to get down and get reset it back to 50 health rather than the 5 that he is on.
So they have control of meeting. Yeah. They just don't know it yet. But they're going to drop in. Notice there's no one here, indeed. And going to keep on trying to push their way through. Again, Radix only need to win this round, and they win, but they are in a 4v3. One of their members is on half health. So the odds are stacked against them. Xenos waking up, it feels, now that they're kind of in the swing of things and in the rounds of this map. They've won a couple. Maybe going to win the third here and force it into overtime if they can win the subsequent one, of course.
looking at the different playstyle that Xenos has went for with this push rather than the previous laundry room and supply room to try to attack, is that this time they decided to clear out the attic first, which was such a crucial point, as then it doesn't allow Pony to do what he's been doing, playing such a nuisance, and it also allows them to clear that entire meeting room, which then makes life so much easier for them pushing in towards that main stairs area.
They've still got both of the thermite charges as well, opting to prioritise the Hibana for now. Not too many places to go through because all the hatches are open. They've got the advantage they want, and here comes the push. They're all going to drop through the hatch, try and push into the point. They've got guns down, and the members are trying to respond from Radix. One is already injured. I don't think it's going to be enough, though, as Radix are falling like flies. Kinders is on his killing spree, and he will round this round out with a 3K. Xenos are back in the game. It's 4-3. One more round, and we go to overtime. And like I said, it feels like they're waking up now. They're starting to figure things out, coordinate a little bit better, and Radix, don't know so much they're falling asleep as much as Xenos are awaking their previous selves. They've ascended and brought the pro play out.
Xenos have definitely adapted to the mistakes they made the previous rounds, which I'm sure they probably said, probably out of Wangom. Wangom would be, I don't know if this is the right words, Wangom would probably be the smartest out of a lot of them. I know the community's probably going to hate me for that because it's Wangom. And of course, looking at just the kind of plays that the IGL has to make is to know, okay, last time it didn't work because this guy in Attic was just being such a pain. Why don't we just push that big tower and get rid of him? And that's exactly what they did, and it worked a charm.
Indeed it did. Charming is one word to describe it. Lethal is another. Let's see if they can bring this to 4-4 and force it into overtime, or if Radix, once again picking up that Capital, will be able to close this out and take us onto the second map. As it stands, as I said, it's been pretty quiet the last couple of rounds from Radix. Looking for them to try and shake things up. Now they've got to sort into the downstairs once more. Capone. We said we'd watch him in his awful drone play. I can see why he said not to watch. He's on a bit of a dance outside rather than actually being useful and finding information. Good job, my friend.
10 seconds to go.
So last time we seen them bring this exact same operator lineup to attack an upstairs one whenever they were expecting a downstairs. Now they know it's going to be downstairs, so they have brought the correct operators this time. And hopefully this lineup should work better for the downstairs rather than the upstairs.
Capone's just like, thank God that drone face is over and they stopped watching me now. Now I can go and play Rainbow Six and I can try and bring my team through this.
Playing a bit of Mario Kart, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, basically what he does, I think. He doesn't really pay attention to what information he's actually collecting and just runs around like a madman. Not the madman, but a madman.
Yeah, nobody is the madman.
Not quite, except for Madman, of course. He's the madman.
Whoa!
Capone!
He's just recorded that. He just clipped that. 100%. What a shot from Kinders. I think that was just, you know, I'm going to shoot window so it happens. And Pony just got dropped. So that is amazing. That's such a big kill for Kinders in that situation, especially getting rid of a Slayer such as Pony. And now this is going to put Radix in the back foot for a change. And now, maybe I spoke too soon, and now it looks to be that Xenos will be trying to take this overtime.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier on, you just can't write any teams off today because they're all just... It's so scrappy and they're just constantly fighting back and forth, and one team goes from being like 4-0 down to suddenly like 4-0 in the next, well 5-0 in the next map even. That's just described week one for me. It's utter craziness. No team really being super consistent, I'd say. It's been a bit scrappy on every match that we've seen. Gonna shoot off a couple of those pellets, I think.
Yeah, that just gives a complete line of sight in towards that meeting area. Again, it gets rid of any bandit charges possibly on that kitchen double wall if they do want to push that with the thermite, which they do have, of course. But for the most part, it seems to be that the attack is definitely slowed down quite a bit for Radix, especially losing a Slayer such as Pony so early on into the round.
Yeah, that's cost them a little bit, but they're still trying to push in, and already we're down to 1 minute and 10 seconds, and they still don't have control of the meeting room. Radix have got to move soon. There comes one. Cryptic goes down to Quake. Can they get into this meeting room and start sieging downstairs with a minute to go? They've either got to decide now, do we turn around and take a different angle because the angles being watched here by the anchors are just too strong, or do we persevere and keep on pushing? The answer, it seems to be, is we persevere and we get dropped for it in the trouble. Willis doing great to hold this point. It feels a bit of pre-fire onto the wall there just in case someone wants to walk around the corner, and they will clean it up. Now, this is a mistake by Radix as well as being a team kill. They kept on pushing angles that they knew they could not win.
This is where I think they should have used thermite a lot better. Blow open that kitchen wall, blow open the attic wall, just do anything to stop the defenders holding these really, really tight angles onto the main areas you want to try and push into to get rid of that drop hatch.
Well, as we enter into the first round of overtime, I'm really curious to see if they can actually pull this one back because this is getting a bit scrappy now. Radix were 4-1 up. they've thrown the last 3 rounds in a row. Not in part, well, in a large part due to Xenos waking up and really starting to play to their potential. But Radix looks super strong. They themselves look like the team that was super coordinated. We're going to run away with this. The team that had been underhyped almost and were really starting to step up. And now the one's starting to look really quiet.
I just think that the momentum has definitely shifted. I talk about momentum so much inside Rainbow Six Siege. It is one of the main things that, again, a lot of teams do have issues with. Whenever the momentum flips, they just don't have the mindset where they're just down about it. They just don't, okay, it's not working, what do we do, what do we do? And then that's whenever, of course, arguments start happening in within the teams, and it just doesn't make Rainbow Six the best place whenever teams do start dropping the heads and stuff like that. They're exactly the same way you would talk about football, where whenever you see a team go 1-0 down and the heads start to drop, and it kind of goes from there.
5 seconds to go.
Spoke a lot about motivation being that big defining factor of a lot of teams where skill is pretty even. And for most of the teams tonight, the skill has felt all on the same sort of tier.
Yeah.
No team has really shone as the go-to, oh my god, these guys are definitely going to win Atlanta. Even Enix, who I think everyone would have wrote off and said they're going to finish first here because of their player AGX. Yes, they 5-0'd the first map. Then they turned around and lost 5-2 to Infamy, who they just destroyed in the previous map.
Yeah, it's strange to see, and I wouldn't say that none of these teams have performed bad.
Ouch.
Everybody has played their heart out, and it's been a great first play day, in my opinion. I think everybody's really put a lot on the line, and it's shown how good Xbox players really are.
Muted silence when you said that. I'm kidding, of course. Let's see how this map pans out. Anyway, 2 minutes 20 left on the clock. Quake is going to go lurking upstairs. Ooh, did he get hold of the mirror window there? He managed to get a shot off. I don't know if it connected.
I think he did miss it. I think he missed it, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so now he's lost the drones. He's going to have to try and breach back in again. Almost getting sprayed out on the way through. Kinders, he's so good at holding these angles. All game long, he's always the one to fire first. And sometimes we've seen players hold angles and they'll get run on and peaks and they will always get shot first. But Kinders, every time, like now, is the one dropping the enemy team like flies.
Going for it again.
He's just going for it. Kinders is really popping off now, to be fair. He's had some great rounds so far this game, and I think has been an instrumental piece in their comeback.
He's looking to be MVP at this stage, I think.
I think he absolutely is. Xenos looking to close out this first round of overtime and take it into the one deciding one, but he will get dropped by Fabia, who was lurking downstairs. However, it leaves him in a 1 versus 4 with no health to fight with. I don't see how he turns this one around, but crazier things have happened tonight, Demo.
Yeah, I don't think that he's not a chance he's going to clutch this up. Let's be real about this. He's literally just 1 shot away from dying from any of the guns coming out from Xenos, and at this stage, he's just running about for the sake of running about. We know he can't really do anything in this situation. Xenos have on lock at the moment now. We see somebody else rotating towards that armory area, of course, and still 3 members holding strong inside the bomb site.
That's all they need to do. Don't need to do anything crazy. The angle, headshot.
Oh. Sweet.
Oh. Well, there we go. First round goes to Xenos. 2 more to go. Can Radix break this chain of losses? That's the fourth one in a row that they've now lost on the bounce. And it feels like they've lost that spark that we saw in the first 4 rounds, because again, they looked really good early on. And it's all gone very, very quiet lately.
That's where I think possibly the experience is starting to show now between Xenos and Radix. Possibly Radix have just, once they start giving away rounds and the heads start to go down, maybe they are the kind of team that if the momentum swings against them, they just can't cope with it.
Absolutely feels that way. And I don't really know what to suggest they do here other than just, get your heads together.
Do what they did the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, well, obviously, if it's that simple. Although maybe it's Xenos that's adapted in that case.
Yeah, I think they've adapted 100%. They have definitely adapted since the first couple of rounds they lost. And that's again what we were talking about with the different counter-strat teams. Okay, we'll give you the first 4 rounds and then we'll come back and switch.
Absolutely. It's all about learning your opposition. I think it's going to be a learning experience for the first few weeks. And again, I'm really excited to see what happens when these teams play against each other.
That's one thing I'm looking forward to.
The second matchups again, it'd be really good to go back and revisit what maps they played, what their favourite operators were, how these games played out, and what the general storyline of each was, because then you get an idea. You start building a history there, and we start to learn more of the personality behind these teams, how they're affected. Now, I'd actually love to speak to some of the players after this and ask them what was going through your mind during that moment, because the game turned on its head, or you played incredibly well and pulled off this clutch. What is it that got your team going once you were kind of behind that far? Because several times tonight we've seen that happen.
Yeah, another thing that I'm really interested in seeing in them second matches would be that, again, we know that both these teams are going to have to play Enix and Infamy before they face each other again. And especially going into it, they've played Enix Infamy, possibly Xenos have beaten Enix, and then Enix have beaten Radix. And then that's just showing Oh yeah, definitely. Then Radix have no chance whenever they lost to Enix, and then Xenos went and beat Enix. It's just that kind of just playing different teams and see how each team copes with the different play styles that again Enix and Infamy bring to the table.
Well, Pony won't be peeking any more windows this time round. Last time he did that, Kinders took his head off. However, it looks like Fabio will, because TW has got his number from outside.
Great angle hold as well, and that sandbag looking straight up and anybody up in towards that armory door.
Brings one down nice and easy. So, Xenos once again on the front foot. They have the 5v4 in their favour. There's no Jaeger on the map anymore. And they even get one on the outside as well. Pony with a nice run out into Floki will bring it to 4-4. Is it going to be enough, though? One kill doesn't determine a round, of course, but it does go a long way to influencing it.
Yeah, again, them early picks, like we have talked about, are so influential in most rounds, but then again, the trade-out that Pony did manage to go to, I would say a bit of a sloppy mistake from Xenos in that situation. I believe that was a spawn camera that Pony was able to use and abuse from that, which maybe isn't the best thing that, again, a Pro League team should know every camera. I'm sure most people know every cameras. So that may be a wee bit of sloppiness coming out from Xenos. But at the moment, Wangum knows there's going to be something. It's a great shot on the Pony. Maybe Pony playing a little bit too aggressive. Could have maybe went for a couple of rotates downstairs and then back up through the main stairs and just seeing where the stairs take him, of course, and then playing to it. But then we see another kill. Again, Wangum's going to get killed on the path. That's going to be inside the attic. So now it's going to be a 4v2, and this is looking where Xenos will take this map.
Well, it feels like Oregon is falling out below Radix's feet. They had the game in their grasp. One more round was all they needed at 4-1. But Xenos are the ones in the commanding position. They are in a 4 versus 2. All they need is the angles, the coordinated push, which they've showed many times in the last 4 rounds. There it is. One more left. Can he get this final kill to round out this map for them and complete the reverse sweep? Trying to find out where he is. There he is, right in his window. Can he get the spray? No, he can't. He's retreated back away to the side.
Worst nightmare
but
any player.
He is fully cornered. I'm pretty sure with all these sounds going on around him, he knows what's coming. Death is inevitable. And Kinders will round out an excellent map for himself by dropping Quake and taking this first map for Xenos.
Great play from Wangum in that last round. That was very, very big kills. Getting a kill on the Pony, of course, who could have came back and provided a real menace. And Kender's 12 kills. And then also, let's not forget about Whiskers in them early rounds. He did come in with some pretty big plays, of course, 10 kills to his name. But seems to be that they didn't need Murph.
Apparently not at all, no. Kinder's had a great time. Some brilliant angles and some brilliant pickoffs as well. The number of times I saw him taking down 2 or 3 headshots was
I can't wait to see this random kill. I can't wait to see it.
Now, the number of times, like the 4-on-1, like in this case, this is where they had a great lead. All they had to do was close this round out, and even then, they just couldn't do it. It's where it all started falling apart from here. And like you say, that random kill that came through the window, I'm quite looking forward to seeing.
Here we go.
Beautiful.
I think Pony went to sledge the window.
I love how he pauses for a second, like, that actually happened. Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure he recorded it.
And this is just one of many for Kinders where he started getting the spray downs, and it was just...
That was a great shot.
It was just domination time and time again, it felt like. That was beautiful through the middle of the bomb there as well. Forget about bomb peeking, who cares anymore? You can just go for this, and it works out wonderfully.
Yeah.
But Xenos find themselves at the point where they've got at least 1 point now. Do you think they can... I don't want to jinx it. Do you think they continue on their current trajectory and take this next map with the motivation they've got?
We're expecting now, after winning 5 rounds, 6 rounds on the trot, 5 rounds?
5 rounds on the trot.
I would imagine now they're just going to keep steamrolling it now with that momentum, unless Radix say they're just going to have to change up their whole strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they do that, it can work for them. We saw it already happen a couple of times today. Yeah. But to be honest with you, I've never seen a lead kind of... I lie, actually. NX's lead was far more decisive than what we've seen here. But it's more the momentum swing that we haven't yet seen tonight. It's the first time we've seen a team go 4-1 and then lose 6-4.
It's going to be border, which is going to be interesting to see as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the one that you said quite a lot of teams playing. Probably is one of the most played, one of the most favourite pro maps to play on these days. Yeah. Question is, do Radix have that experience to be able to compete against us, who again have got 4 former Pro League players who have no doubt played this map an absolute ton? What I find really interesting, actually, is that Kinders is the only non-former Pro League player on the team, and he's the one running away with it.
The one thing also about which I didn't mention is that whole team, except for Kinders, the Murph, not Murph, TW, Wangum, Floki, they all played with Infamy at the UK Invitational with Drake. Like I was saying, Drake was the only one who went there, and it was the other 4. And then Kinders played for 1UP. At the LAN event.
There you go.
So he did go to the LAN event, he did go there, and it has, and then of course Kinder's very good friends with Wangum and stuff like that there, and he's definitely proven that if a year ago, and he was older, he could definitely have done bits in Pro League.
Absolutely. Well, that's the first map, of course, going across to Xenos. Radix are going to be trying to fight it back and at least end this out at 1-on-1 to join the 2 other games of the evening that went that way. Whether or not it goes that way remains to be seen. Border, like you say, we're going on to. We spoke quite a lot about Buck earlier on today, and saying he's a good pick on Border. Yet we didn't really see any teams pick him up for that.
Well, I did see Enix.
True, Enix did pick him up, yeah. And they,
Blitz definitely used that a lot, and it worked.
And they crushed.
You could see the difference between the first game with Horizon versus Fable. There's no Buck being picked, and the anchors could just free roam. Whenever you seen them Blitz pick up that Buck, them anchors were no longer able to sit, and that was definitely a big factor in why they did 5-0 them.
Absolutely. Well, I'll be curious to see if we can turn around and see the reverse 5-0, but as we said a few times, I'm probably not convinced. We'll be getting onto the map in just a second. Again, if you want to join in these late-night conversations with us, then hashtag ESL Prem is the place to go on Twitter and say hello. I'll probably be checking out that hashtag on my way home later on, but we'll see about that after this map. Border is going to be the final map of the evening. Radix versus Xenos. Xenos with the 1-0 advantage. Can Radix turn it around, or will they be going home empty-handed from the first week?
So into the Middle East, we are going to be heading to Armory and Lockers. Again, this is going to be the primary bomb site which we are going to be looking to play. Typically, we're going to be seeing in the mirror windows, of course, which we have seen proficiently throughout the previous matchups on Border, even through the Fable match, and then also the Enix match, of course. Looking at some other operators we're seeing picked for Xenos, we're seeing the Valkyrie again, which is going to be a great operator for finding out a lot of intel. There's
something far more important to be observing at the minute, and that is Capone's drone skills. We've been informed they are very poor, and this is his second chance to please us. As of yet, has yet to really discover anything except a television on the wall.
He can't even jump up the wall.
Well, he's managed to jump. He's found himself a nice ledge to sit on, but unfortunately, mate, your drone is not a trophy. Please go and find out some information. He's going to sit here in the lobby. Let's be honest, it's not that bad a spot to sit in. Let's have a look at what the defenders are up to upstairs, where they're choosing to reinforce. We spoke at length about the angles people choose to defend. It looks like they're going to go for the more aggressive take by sitting further forward. Not going to open up that hatch behind them. They're going to leave that closed for now, it seems.
Seems to be the pretty much standard. This is what you'll see in every bomb site for this. You'll see the one in Fountain, which then gives coverage to that office push, of course, and then also equally the one located in towards that A bomb site, which then gives coverage towards that whole entire box push.
Absolutely, it does. And looking on the wall outside as well, I want to know what they've been sticking up around there. I haven't got a mirror wall on that just yet, it seems.
Possibly they're waiting to see maybe if there's going to be a Twitch drone.
Yeah, he's held on to it for now. So maybe they're waiting to see if there is a Twitch. If they know there's no Twitch, they go in for place it down. They'd be glad to know there is no Twitch, but there is indeed a Thatcher on side, and they have quite a bit of breach available to them. All the standard operators. This really, to me, is like old school. Bar maybe Hibana. Like, this
bar
is
Hibana.
This is what you always
It would have been a Twitch for Hibana. Well, that was what we called the Fantastic Five back then, where it was Twitch, Thermite, Thatcher, Sledge, and Ash, because they were literally the only good operators back then.
They're the Fantastic Five. These are the Superb Five, because Hibana is super effective at that range clear.
Yeah, it seems to be that they're gearing up for this box push. They have the right operators for it. Again, no Buck. Instead, we're going to see the Sledge, which is still quite a bit of a worry. I don't know why Buck isn't being picked enough. For Border is a must pick, in my opinion. He just brings so much to the table with his gun, with his gadget, with his grenades, of course, as well. And you can't go wrong with an operator with grenades, of course. No IQ. We haven't seen any IQ play tonight, which is quite interesting. Possibly we've seen more Vigil play coming out than IQ, of course, would be then the perfect operator to counter that, but none at the moment.
Why do you think that they're choosing to go for things ahead of the IQ?
Mostly just because IQ's gadget is only going to be a counter for Pulse, and then also a counter for Vigil. That would be the only thing she brings to the table, in my opinion.
Right, gotcha.
Her gadget, not that useful.
Well, there you go. Answered your own question.
Yeah, pretty much. It seems to be that it's not going to be a box, but it's going to be a full-on office push. If we do see the first blood, is going to go in Melon's way. And one thing which I noticed is that Xenos brought another mirror and put it on that B wall, which then also looks in towards the office area. So knowing that, okay, they're going to go full-on B push, let's put another mirror window there, but it's been opened. I don't know how that's been managed to get there, probably from below, but somebody's playing below. So
I think it might, I was going to say maybe grenades, because they were throwing a lot in, but they didn't open up enough of the wall for it to really be a grenade. However, the point still stands that there is a nice big window staring into the point fall, and Capone is finally stepping up, even bringing down Kinders, the MVP from last game. And Radix have woken up once more. I would hate to see them outgo the same way, where they find themselves literally one round from winning and then lose. And even Whisker's going to go down. Cryptic is all on his own here in the corner, but he's in a 4 versus 1 situation. I don't really see how he turns this around, but he's going to do his best.
This is where now we're talking about where Cryptic now has to play that attacking role, and the defenders just have to sit, hold an angle, think where he's going to go. He just got a great shot on the Quake. Still one down, so technically it's going to be a 2v1, but at the moment Melons should be being able to get this kill off. Maybe that might be Quake playing that Thermite role. So we will see what's going to happen. It's actually going to get the down, so it's going to be technically a 1v1. It's going to be Pony, as he is going to finish off the round, and it's going to be Radix going 1-0 up.
I think Pony walks away with at least 3 kills in that round as well. Really good round for him overall. Just watching those angles. Patience is the name of the game. Patience and information will win you many things in Rainbow Six. There you go with the 3K. Melon's taking the other 2. Good starting round for Radix. Xenos, a bit of a slow start, but maybe it's more a case that they adapt to the map over
that's
time.
What I'm thinking. That's why I think they're that kind of team where they'll set up, they'll say, okay, what have you got? Show me what you got, and then for a little bit of Rick and Morty reference for you there, for anybody who gets that, and then they just basically counter it from there, like we did see in that last map.
You edgy little 12-year-old, you referencing Rick and Morty on a Rainbow Six cast. Oh yes, it's what we all love to hear at this time of night. Of course, it is way past 12 o'clock now, so I think it's probably your bedtime soon. How you feeling?
I've been up since it.
Yeah, mate. I mean, that's when you go to school, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, let's see how this one plays out then. Xenos on the back foot. I'm confident they can take at least 1 round, and they're taking away the buck as well. So they're looking for that destructibility that we spoke about before. You can open up most of these bomb points with that buck for below, but it does require the downstairs control. Of course, whether we see any Romans heading downstairs to prevent that from happening is a different story, and Radix, maybe Capone, will be feeling his chances at that because he played a stellar game last round.
So straight away, I am seeing security hold coming out for top floor armory defensive site. I don't see this too often. We ran through it earlier. I did explain to you that sometimes this may happen. Again, I know it's hard for you to hear without the hearing aid. So again, looking at this mirror window, it's going to give complete coverage to this whole entire long corridor, of course, and also intel in towards that security room. But also equally, you do have to be careful if anybody pushing towards that west balcony area can open up that single window, and then of course then start pressuring you and start pushing you out from that single window.
We have quite a deep mirror there as well, so keep an eye on that window. It seems to be a point of interest for them, just making sure no one's going to run out. Claymore going down too will stop any run-outs onto them from here, but admittedly, most of them now getting inside. I'm pretty sure a run-out is one of the least of their concerns, but the rotation still a very scary and real threat.
Again, rotations are always going to be that main key for many defenders trying to get out of that bomb site. But then, of course, if we do see Xenos trying to take this customs area, that then shuts down any rotations coming down from the drop hatches. And also, that security room is destructible from below, so we can see then that buck coming in and start wrecking up the floor from below as well. As we do see then the first blood is going to go in with Radix, as we do see Fabia picking up the kill. That's going to be on the Kinders. The buck is going to be out of commission.
Indeed, he is. The Xenos, their unlucky streak continues, and they do not have that tool to start ripping the floor up, as we spoke about so many times today. A very effective way of getting hold of this. Still, Radix hold strong on the defense. Maybe going to spot if he peeks here. If he does a quick run out, he may see the lurker, but they're also watching also onto the door, so they'll know if he goes for it. He knows the gun down there a bit there. May go for the peek, but oh, there's 2 angles being watched right here. He wants that head to just swing out so he can drop it, but it's not going to happen. It just sees the corner of the head there, but doesn't go for the kill, gets shot, and one gun will retreat, but Pony gets dropped by TW.
Again, it's going to be another trade back, puts it back into level terms. And at the moment, Radix have done a very good job at slowing down a lot of the pushers coming in from the attacking side. Now, a minute on the clock, and this is where Xenos have decided to rotate for this office push. And at this stage of the game, I would imagine Radix are now going to start bringing back Fabia from that security room, of course, and then start trying to help defend this push, which is going to be coming very shortly.
Well, the push has got to come in soon with only 45 seconds left to go. Not much longer left in this round for the old boys and their chances of winning this round out. 4 versus 4 is the score on the doors. Going for that thermite charge to try and breach through onto the point. This could be what they need to start getting this open and get some more angles down. With 35 seconds to go, that's not a lot of time though. Now this is open. Let's see what they can make happen. They've got the Hibana still available as well. Managed to drop 1, so Fabia has gone down. Radix on the back foot. Xenos looking for an alternative way in, opening up as many paths as they can, just trying to cause disarray in the defender's room. tossing those grenades in everyone. They get another kill onto Melons. TW pushes in, but Weingom is going to get traded out by Quake. 2 versus 3 now. It's looking a bit grim for Radix, but they're trying to go for some more kills. Quake trying to spray through that window, but not going to find anyone just yet. All they've got to do is hold down as long as they can, but with the bomb down, they're now going to be the ones forced into action.
So looking at this push, it has came in very quick, very efficient. They've been able to flash out that Mira, of course, so Mira couldn't play there very safely, and as well as open up that castle barricade, which exposes that main core. We see Quake pushing, gets 1 kill on to Whiskers. This is where now Radix have to go big. They possibly can clutch this up, as we do see, and see TW drop the kill on the Pat, and this is where it is going to be no more time left for Quake to go for this defuse. As I'm sure Weingom is just going to sit and wait. Oh, it's going to be Floki on the Thermite. Is going to sit and wait and get the kill on the Quake. And now we do have Xenos going 1-1.
Well, there we go. 1-1. Not the best, not the worst start in the world for either team. Still yet really to see who's the one in control of this map. But look at the kills coming through for TW. Xenos, definitely slow starters, but TW is dragging them screaming and kicking from their rest beds into this game because he wants to walk away with the win.
Yeah, exactly. TW, he's always been a great player. I think a lot of people have underrated him in the past. I think he's a superb player, and he's always been stable throughout every team. He's always just been a solid team member, which is always great to have one of them. So now looking at our next defensive bomb site, we will be moving back up into that armory lockers and archives once again, and it will then be Xenos' defensive site for this, and they have decided to bring an Echo for this bomb site.
Echo's always really interesting because of the many uses that he's got. His gun is very, very good for the range if you can get yourself a nice angle into the point, but it's also, of course, all about the yokai and what that can do to distract either in the middle of fights or in the middle of plants. Take your pick. He's got several versatile uses.
And also, of course, a shotgun, which can be used for, or of course, that
terraforming, as I like to call it.
Yeah, for that short ability, and also in that close range combat, you can use it for as well. He's got a really nice kit, so that is really good, of course. And then he is also immune to Dokkaebi. Let's not forget as well.
You've been looking at him topless or something? Really nice tit, does he? Is that what you've got on your mind, you filthy teenager? Anyway, 1-1, 3 minutes to go. This round is now underway. They got an IQ on side as well. That's a new one. You spoke about this earlier on, saying you were kind of surprised we haven't seen that more. And Radix are going to pick it up and see what they can do.
Yeah, so it does seem to be that E-stairs clear out coming out from Radix, and we're going to see an IQ pick. So that's going to be very strange, especially whenever you can use it for Echo, of course. So that this could be a very good counter strat, getting rid of that Echo device, which is going to be coming down to the wire. Of course, Echo with that yokai can be that decisive factor for a win or a loss for the defensive team.
You can. I think Radix, you know, he's almost starting to kind of wake up a bit again. TW is the one who started to kind of drag the team back into this game. But the question is, can he drag them in quick enough? Because otherwise the game just spirals downwards very quickly, and you do find yourself losing round after round. The players, no doubt, are feeling a bit tired as well. We're all feeling it, but they're all determined to try and take as many points as they can from this first week. Because as the competition heats up, every point can count. Every small difference that you get, and of course map scores start to play into things if we start getting point ties as we go further forward. And Pat is going to spot out a couple of devices. He knows that they're lurking. He knows there are devices in the area. Goes for the spray. Actually hits him and gets the injure down, but doesn't bring him down. The members are going to rotate to try and save him. Pat is in danger. Throws down his own, but actually gets Capone behind him. Drops as they were aiming for him. Both of them are going to go down at this rate. And Cryptic, once again, is starting to shine.
Yep, more aggression coming out from that bandit, and typically that main corridor, it's like just a big tube. That's where, like, think of Plane, for example. It was always known as just one-way traffic. You just held an angle, and they just start running down. I would say the same for this big corridor. It's very easy just to predict where somebody's going to be and just go for that pre-fire shots, of course.
Well, Quake finding himself 3 kills in this round has certainly turned things around and is looking to do what he can to take this point. They've got the pressure. They've got Kinders lurking around. We've seen what this guy can do already. And as expected, he will bring down the top fragger on the other team for this round. As a grenade to get himself through the wall. One more impact grade remaining. I wonder if he tries to use that aggressively, because generally we see it get used more for aggressive purposes. Going to push it out. Finds one. Almost finds two. Goes for the spray. Does not get the kill. That was a little bit low, though, aiming for the feet. Oh, and Mulch around the corner and gets himself dropped. Attackers win round 3. Radix take another point.
I would say that Quake went in big for his team there. Was looking, I would say, favoured Xenos a lot more, but ever since having that big, which is exactly, that happens a lot in Siege, where you'll see somebody just go in and just go big for their team, which then completely flips the game on its head.
And that's what you're always looking for. Again, he's the one who's waking up for his team. It's Cryptic for his team. Who wakes up the most? Who wakes up bright and early on the right side of the bed? Or nice and late in this case?
Yeah, definitely. It seems to be that, for the most part, Radix are looking to have more of a strong control over Xenos in these situations. But I would say if Radix do go on to take this round, then you would like to favour then Radix then going on and winning the round, of course, or winning the game, of course. So
that's what you would hope for. However, still a few more rounds to go, at least until we can get to that point where we can make a pretty sane decision on which team it looks the greater. Buck once again being picked up by Xenos. Didn't really have too much impact last time round because he got picked off very, very early in the round. So they didn't have the chance to use him to his full effect, which of course is for that terraforming. It's my new favourite way to describe what hit operators like Buck do. You ever played a game like Spore or something? It's basically all terraforming, just transforming planets. He's transforming border.
Yeah.
Tearing floors up. Love it.
That's one thing that plays a really big part in a game such as Siege, which I think that it is a very unique game with the destructibility that it does have. You know, it's amazing how many just the different soft walls you can start blowing up, and again, just the reinforcements, of course. It's different than any other game. You know, you don't get it in Call of Duty, you don't get it in Halo, you don't get it in Gears of War, and it just really just brings that uniqueness to a first-person shooter game. So, yeah, fun.
Yeah, agree. Okay. It's almost like it's to reassure yourself at the end there by going, yeah, I meant that. Yeah, that sounds right in my head. Yeah.
Sounds good. It's a great game.
Well, kills opened up once more. Wine gun being dropped down on Xenos, so Radix off to the good start that they've had.
out of the picture as well.
Indeed. It's still got hard breach, though. They've got the available. They're basically taking a pretty good comp to make sure they do have that hard breach option available. Thatcher Thermite still standing. The Buck not really getting to work too much, it feels. More playing that 50-50 role that we've spoken about previously, where it's about playing support early on and then starting to open the floor when you know where you need to be shooting.
Also, just talking about the fact that they have lost Habana, this does not mean that they're not going to be able to get rid of these mirror windows, because Thermite's not going to run up and try and Thermite a mirror window because they get gunned down straight away. So this is going to make it really difficult now for Xenos to start pushing in, unless they bring this Buck in, and he has to start then with this destructibility from the verticality. We just see Pony getting maybe a little bit too aggressive, and does get punished for it by Whiskers. And now we do see then Kender's being brought in, and he does get rid of them mirror windows.
Starting to open things up as best they can. They have this downstairs control. The real question is, what can they do with it? Can they make the impact needed? 1.5 minutes left on the clock. Kinders finds Fabia. Again, back to his old multi-kill ways. If he can find himself out a couple more. He's definitely been the stand-up performer for me across both of these maps, I think, so far.
Yeah, 100%. I think that he's definitely shone in this map. Maybe it's just because it's a particular map pick that does suit them. Different maps are going to suit different players, of course. You look at different maps such as the difference between Oregon and Clubhouse, like we have talked about, more Pulse players, I would say, perform really well on a map like Clubhouse compared to a map like Border, where you're more likely to see then your Jaegers and your Elos who have in the longer range guns being able to take them long range gunfights, which we do have for a map such as Border. So again, it's just map preference, I would say, definitely suits in this situation.
Absolutely. Cryptic gets another kill onto Quake. Radix are down to 2 members on the attacking side. Definitely like the stronger in a minute as he throws the C4 up, and explosion comes through the other way. Great headshot there.
That was a great shot as well there. That C4, if that did land, that then could have blown him up and then also blown open, also stopped then that exothermite charge going off.
It could have, should have, but did not. Claymore being placed down just behind him there, so he's not really going to have many places to run, and the answer is he has nowhere to run. As he gets dropped by Cryptic once again, starting to shine in his own right once more, burning bright for his team. Goes for the spray down, but Cryptic has his number. Pat gets dropped. And Xenos take yet another round, and the boys are starting to look very, very good right now. Basically continuing on from the trend of what we saw on the previous map.
Still no defensive win as of yet. Seems to be all attack. All these teams are leaving it in the attack side of things. TW again, another big round for him. And he's going to be 9 kills after 4 rounds played. That is almost half of the kills he potentially get is going to be going his way.
Best defense is a good offense. Seems to be their motto.
Hopefully Wangom can get a couple of more kills.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not his best game.
No.
That's...
But I would say he did really good that.
It looks like my ranked games.
Yeah. Except you're usually at the bottom.
That's what I mean. Well done, mate. Keep up. Is that joke about 22 years behind, like ahead of you?
Attackers need
I'm
to
not talking
locate
to you
and
anymore.
defuse bombs.
One day's enough.
So now, moving into another defense once again, it is going to be now the ventilation room and workshop we're going to be seeing. This is the first time we've seen this, and let's see how Radix are going to be able to cope. No Buck once again. The Sledge is going to be picked, but Sledge is definitely going to be. It's going to be a lot easier for him to start destroying this floor rather than going below. Because again, he can't destroy the roof as we already have covered on, but he can start destroying the ceiling. Echo Drone once again, which could be used for the roamers upstairs, which again is a very valuable strategy. I believe we've seen this being played by Rami in the first matchup against Horizon. He'd had a really good round. Remember that shotgun kill? It was really good.
Oh yeah.
And that just shows the potential that shotgun does have with that really heavy-duty destructibility. And for the most part, I think that Radix might have a bit of difficulty trying to get in and getting rid of these anchors, especially with no Buck.
However, I do get it, because several times today we've seen attacking teams take this exact lineup. And a lot, oh, that's unlucky. A lot of the time it's purely, a lot of the time it's because we see more than anything else, it's just very, very good for that horizontal destruction. There's a lot of walls that can be knocked down on this map. So often they'll just smash their way through and be like, well, we don't need to attack from below, because literally every wall around us can be knocked down. We can get so many angles into the points. And all it's about then is the gun trades, taking the 1v1s, and with the rifles, generally, you will win out most of those trades.
For the most part, a lot of people say that attackers do have better weapons than the defenders, mostly because assault rifles versus SMGs. Assault rifles have the best damage, of course, but then SMGs can start melting you up close and personal. Especially, you look at the Scorpion Evo, it's the best game and it's not an assault rifle, which is really amazing to see. Also, another gun such as Jaeger 416 Carbine has been one of the best guns since release, and it still is to this day. And also, even look at the MP7, it is also another great gun, high rate of fire, headshot machine, and of course we did see Proxa play very proficiently on it inside his game.
Absolutely, he played really well. Reform Proxa, obviously his name, clearly reforming his ways and becoming the big carry for his team, it felt, in some of those rounds. Yep. We will find out what's going on in just a second once we get back onto that map. Everyone wants to see the conclusion of Border, I think, to round out the first week. And no, if Xenos continue their hot streak, because let's not forget, we saw a bit of a disconnect earlier on and then we had to have a rehost. The game completely changed after that happened. Yeah. I'm worried for Xenos here that the same thing happens and we see Radix just kind of start to have a bit of a resurgence and start winning this map back. That's my biggest worry for them.
I think we'll just see it go back and forth again, because now it's just cool-down time for both teams. This is probably where the captains are going to give them their team talk, saying, okay, what do we need to do here? We need to do this, we need to do that. We know that they went, we know that they're going to go ventilation room, of course, so now how are we going to prepare? Possibly switch out the Sledge now for a Buck, which then allows better access. Possibly scrap the Thermite, because Thermite's not really used that often for the upstairs, because typically Habana does the job, get the hatches off your sword, and then possibly bring like another operator, maybe a fuse. We haven't seen yet.
No, absolutely. I think they'll probably make them take the same operators in the same defensive point again, just to make sure it's played out the same way.
Yeah, it's going to be the same, because they just, no, they haven't won yet, haven't won defensive yet.
Nope, neither side has.
It's going to be the same then. I would imagine they're going to go the same.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, as much as we've been talking about, we've been speaking about this Buck all night and about the impact it can have, but like I say, this 5 lineup that we've been seeing in this game just now, in that round a second ago, it's definitely been the most popular of all the picks that we've seen, again, because I mentioned the amount of destruction that's available in that kit, the number of walls you can lock down and basically deny roamers, one, the opportunity to pick you up because you can't see the angles they're coming from, and also to open up your own angles. Yeah. It works out ridiculously well, and they've used it to great success several times over. That's probably why we have yet to see a defending round win.
Yeah, I think also Border is going to be one of them hard maps for defenders, especially whenever the Thermite walls do start opening up, because most of them Thermite walls, whenever they get opened up, it just shows a complete sight line into the heart of that site. And then looking at different plant spots, whenever that A wall gets blown open, it's very easy to just plant right beside the door. Yeah. Whenever the B wall gets blown open, it's very easy just to plant right behind the bomb site then.
Absolutely. And we saw that happen earlier on, where we got inside, and again, it was the point of trying to fight back from the other point into B.
Yeah,
That was a bit like, how do we fight this? Because it is tucked away so safely, someone lies down, there's nothing you can do.
No.
And they were trapped on their own point because the angles being watched by the aggressors were just too great, and they had literally no way to stop it.
But then I think that also then comes down to the roam game and also the mirror windows. As again, if you're able to get early picks on the Thermites and then also onto the different types of Slayers, then it does put your team in a big advantage. But for the most part, Radix have been able to eliminate the big Slayers, but then they've been able then to get killed by their supports, and the supports have been able to carry, so it's quite strange to see.
Absolutely is. Well, let's have a quick overview while we've got some time of all the games, because I'm pretty sure once this game's over, most of us will want to be saying, right, it's bedtime, let's get our heads down, you've got school in the morning, let's be good. Look at this first game then. Fable versus Horizon, how that one played out. Kind of not too surprising in terms of what we saw.
It was really tight.
It was very tight. Second one was complete and utter landslide either way between the two maps. Never would have expected that one coming into it. And Vex versus 1-Up, I think that kind of went how we expected.
Yeah.
It was basically a war between raw gunplay and strategy, and ultimately raw gunplay did win out. That's not a lesson for solo queue, guys. Don't go charging around like idiots, 5-man straight into the basement. That one didn't work out for them, but everything else seemed to go their way for the most part.
I wouldn't say that any teams have played bad. Every team has top-notch. Everybody's played really, really good stuff today. I've been really impressed with some of the stuff I've seen, and I'm looking forward to some new stuff, hopefully, that we'll be seeing next week and then also the weeks to come. So everybody has played tonight. Really good stuff coming from me again. I've seen a lot of yous through the thick and thin, some of your bad moments, some of your great moments. Really good stuff tonight, guys.
We've seen team kills, we've seen 5Ks, we've seen a lot. But let's think about future matchups as well. What two teams are you really looking forward to playing? Because I'm thinking immediately, like, clash of styles. Like, Vexed are going to clash against any team they come up against because they're just so different.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you know, especially with these two, with how polarizing NX and Infamy both were, I'd actually quite like to see Horizon come up against Infamy again, because we've seen that previously, but we won't see that until LAN, I don't think, because they are both in separate groups.
I would honestly like to see Fable versus Vexed, primarily because both of them teams have really aggressive playstyles, of course. They're looking to get into the faces of their different teams, and I think that would be a really, really tight matchup to call.
Absolutely. Well, we are back onto the map. Sorry about that little disruption, guys. Of course, I wish I could tell you what the issue was, but all we saw was one big connection error. However, connection succeeded. We are back into game between Radix and Xenos. 2-2 is the score on this map. 3 points will win it for either team. Now, whether or not they manage to get to that stage is a completely different story. Again, ventilation room and workshop, all the same operators being selected, so nothing has changed from what we saw before that brief interlude. Yeah,
again, we're going to be looking at the same kind of thing that we were talking about with that upstairs control. Echo, of course, being picked up. Once again, I do think that we did see the east stairs clear out, possibly coming in from Radix, which we have seen them do time and time again. They like to clear out from the east stairs and then work their way in towards the office, which is, again, a very viable clear out strategy, because you're working from the back and then working your way up to the front of the map.
Absolutely. Well, let's see if they employ the same strategy as last time. I'll be completely honest, I don't fully remember what strategy they employed. My memory isn't what it used to be. Young whippersnapper, but let's see what they opt to do. Do they go for an attack on the east once again? Or do they opt to go for something on the west balcony? We haven't seen too many west balcony takes. We saw it in the first match of the day, but other than that, it's been pretty quiet. Yeah,
I think West Balcony has been a bit of a turnaway for most teams, especially with the jump outs that you can do from the ventilation B unit, and also just run out the main front door can also get you a kill on anybody repelling, as it's one of the easiest kills to do is get somebody whenever they're repelling. And once again, we're seeing that east stairs take. It'll be curious to see if we might possibly see that bathroom being blown open, and then having the team start blitzing in through that toilet area, and then also being able to get that hatch open upstairs, and then it does lead into a very peculiar spot for Xenos not being able to stay inside the A site, and then hopefully from there Radix then should be able to take that round, but we'll see.
Should, of course, being the big definitive key word in that sentence, I think. Both teams have surprised us in equal measure. Radix pulling ahead at Fun on Fallen 1. Mate, are you able to stand that water bottle up, or is it going to keep on falling? You're right. He's having a break. He hasn't had his milk or his burpees yet, so he's in a bit of a sour mood. We'll sort him out afterwards, don't worry. One thing that needs to be sorted out, of course, is the conclusion of this game. It's still start at 2-2, 1 minute down in this round so far. Neither side really got any inroads coming towards the point. Defenders just sitting pretty. Radix are starting their approach. Here comes the first kill. Winegum catches out Pony with that C4.
That is going to be a big kill as once again the Slayer coming out from Pony is going to be taken out, and a good C4 from below, I believe that is from Wangum. Possibly the intel from the Echo Drone would have gave him up, but then maybe a bit of a risky play from Wangum, as then Pat does get the trade out and does get the kill on the Wangum.
And trading it back does even things out, and they're also down a resource, of course, in the form of that C4. Looking for their inroads into this lower points. Now, we haven't really seen too many lower points. Everything goes upstairs whenever the option is available. And like you said, we haven't seen a defensive team really win yet. So that's why they've gone for, I think, a bit of a change, is to say, look, we've tried upstairs twice, we've lost twice. Let's try and mix things up a little bit.
That is most mentalities for most teams. Whenever it doesn't work twice, okay, let's mix it up. If it doesn't work, then we'll see where we go from there. But for the most part, it seems to be that they're holding strong at the moment. I say that, but then that fragger TW is going to get taken out. Then Kender's going to get the refrag. Is he probably going to get the second one from that exact same angle? Misses his shots. Max's going to get the kill. It's going to be Whiskers getting the kill. I believe that's going to be a rotate from upstairs, pushing up through that main stairs, and now he has put it back into Xenos' favour.
It seems kind of mad to return to the point from where you were just shot. He sees the arm poking out, doesn't manage to get the headshot though. Maybe could have waited a couple of seconds there, Pat, to see if he'd have gone for the move, because now he is definitely going to play very cautiously. He goes to drop down, trying to get the tag onto the guy behind, but he cannot seem to land it out. Maybe he's going to find it now. There's two down there. That could have been a double spray down, but he gets one, and one will be enough for now. It's a 2v2 in the dying moments of this round. 10 seconds left to play with, as you said, Demo. Now they're going to go for the drop, because if they drop down here, we've seen this happen a couple of times already, and the same thing happens once more. It's a death drop, and both members get gunned down.
How many times have we seen that happen? Is that the third time? The third time this evening?
They even dropped together at the same time. It's like, if we die together. Jump with me, my love. And off they went. Twitter is convinced that you keep looking at me very lovingly, by the way.
Let's not talk about Twitter.
I'm getting a bit creeped out.
So, Xenos do take the lead inside this series. Armory, Lockers, and Archives is going to be the defensive site for Radix. They still have not won. They didn't decide to go for the switch-up. I say that. They have decided to go for the switch-up with that ventilation room and workshop castle being picked. I would imagine that a bathroom hold more than likely with the castle being picked. We could also see some of the castle barricades being played upstairs in cooperation with the Mira windows as well, which is going to help the roamers defend that top floor away from the buck, of course, as we do see Kenders playing that buck once again. And let's see what kind of defensive strat we are going to be coming out from Radix.
It does make it a bit tougher with the buck, I think, because obviously you're used to taking the buck when you want to assault upstairs. Maybe they kind of bought into the gamble and thought, we reckon they'll go upstairs here, but nope. Taking that castle, taking the bathroom, everything we expect to see when you have a castle on side. Maybe here he goes above and opens up the ceiling from above and starts raining down fire and grenades, all the good stuff that we usually see on Clubhouse. That's probably the strategy they'll be looking to employ.
That's a very peculiar castle barricade. Typically, I don't like castle barricades which exposes outside, because it's very easy for an attacker just to come up and sledge it, ash around it, 11 hit it if you want to, 12 hit it I believe it is. And it really is no risk for an attacker just to walk up to an outside barricade and just start hitting it. So it's that's why I really don't like the outside castle barricades as much as the inside ones, because if you know somebody's going to come along and start trying to 12 hit that, then you can play someone aggressive on that main stairs, and it's going to be a free kill from there.
Absolutely. Well, let's see if they opt to take out that window nice and early. I guess at least it gives some indication as to where they are, because it generally will require explosive force to knock it through. You can go for the 12 hit, but it will waste a good 10 to 15 seconds of your time in doing so. And every second can count when there is only 180 in a round.
That's what I think possibly they might be going for in the last 9 seconds of the round. Possibly the Thermite might try and go for the rotate, jump out of that window there, as you just seen, inside that armory area, and then go for the jump out down on towards then that single window, which we did see Castle Barricade. He comes there 10 seconds to go. He's not going to have enough time to jump in without going for that 12 hits, of course. And then that basically is going to be the decisive factor of the defensive team winning the round.
Given Xenos just defended this point, you'd imagine they would have a pretty good idea of how to attack it as well. Let's see if they can catch out all these potential roamers coming through. They are trying to gun down a couple of the defensive roamers who are up here on the top floor with them. Unable to do so as of yet. Still looking for their way and going to get a drone going around the corner and try and find out exactly where these roamers are sat and decide what they need to do to get around them. They've already wasted 90 seconds trying to even find or get any shots onto them. They've got to start this push soon, otherwise that attack downstairs will end exactly the way as the last round ended. which will be through that suicide drop with every single member going through, getting gunned down.
I'm really surprised why they put the mirror window there and not have anybody play aggressive onto it. At this stage, if I seen straight away Whiskers peek that door, I would then straight away double peek him and then possibly try and catch him by surprise. But at the moment, they have laid back off and are now looking to waste even more time. As 1 minute on the clock, of course, as this is going to go very fast and furious, as we do see Pony pick up the kill onto Wangum and then does scurry away.
Yeah, good idea there. Even if you get 1 kill as a roamer, you've already wasted 2 minutes. You have done your job. Just leave and get back to defend the point. And with 45 seconds to go, I'd be kind of worried as the attacking side here. Xenos have looked good in the end of the last map and most of this map. But Radix have woken up and they're pulling off some nice plays. Those roamers have been so successful for them. The best part was they were basically both watching the same angle, and it still paid off dividends for them because they got the kill.
At this stage, we do see now the Buck starting to do work on this destructible floor, of course, getting rid of anybody inside them anchor positions, of course, as we do see then the roamers are going to start trying to get pressured here. I believe that's going to be from TW on that bottom floor, as we do see Fabio trying to look up and try and use them Buck angles against them at this stage. 2 people inside security is going to be Pat and Pony, the 2 roamers from upstairs, as now it's going to be that bathroom push. Floki and Kenders are going to get a kill as Pat then does treat the kill out onto Kenders. 2v3 as it is going to go Xenos, who you have the lead, make that an equal lead as Pat does get the headshot on the TW, as we see Pony now rotating. Both of these defenders are going to be at this single door. The fuser is going to go down. We are also going to see Whiskers get down. Now it does lie on Floki to clutch us up for his team.
Now, whether he can delay this out and just wait for the timer to come through on the diffuser, the defenders have got to act fast. And we know what happens when teams act fast. They make mistakes, as he almost did them with that head peek. Could have got his head taken clean off his shoulders. They know that he's here lurking, going to try and spray a different angle. Going to go for the diffuse quite possibly here. There's 1, there's 2. Going to try and go for the spray. Misses it all. Gets the spray. Anyway, Floki comes up big. And Xenos go to match point. Now 4-2. Can they close this out and take the second 2-0 of the day?
That's exactly what we were talking about, where whenever that bomb gets planted, it's going to be the defenders having to go for them aggressive play styles, them aggressive pushes, of course. And all Floki had to do was just wait and let them pick them as if any defender would normally on their defensive sites.
Really good so far, and I was kind of worried when we went into that pause that Xenos might drop off and we'd see Radix come back in and take the map, but Xenos have continued their streak. They've taken both rounds since the pause. If nothing else, it's given them renewed life. Yes, there have been a couple of close rounds that they've won, but wins are wins, my friends. It doesn't matter how you get them. As long as you win, walk away with that 1 on the scoreboard, no one really cares what happened in the round itself. So unless you get a 5K.
Yeah, obviously. that was honestly probably the best moment, I would say, off the play day so
Never
far.
forget.
So now, the penultimate, possibly last round for the entire play day, it is going to be Xenos defending that armory and the archives area. If they do win this round, then they will win a map and also win the series. 2 maps, 2-0, get 2 points on the board, and then it will make things very interesting, as if they do win this, they will go top of their group.
Indeed they will, and that'll be a great start to them. Of course, when week 2 rolls around, things may change very drastically. It's when all the scores start mixing across weeks that things get very interesting, because you start to see which teams are better against certain team styles. For example, I've said Vexed already a few times, may upset those who are very strategically sound but may not have the best gunplay. As we saw against 1UP, although admittedly 1UP made a few mistakes earlier on, so if they round things out, maybe they can start taking gains away from other teams too. And for Vexed, all I can say is just don't do the 5-man charge into basement, and I'm pretty sure you'll be okay.
Yep. At the moment, it seems to be, again, another E-stairs take, which they like to go for. Again, pushing from back to the front, of course. But I would like to see a box push possibly coming out from Radix, as that was a very close call, as it is going to be Ayla then spotted out back from downstairs. We also do see Jaeger roaming about downstairs. That might be on the main stairs area, I believe. And we do see something different in the lineup for Radix. It's going to be the Habana is going to get dropped, and the Twitch is going to get picked up.
Interesting. So maybe they realise they don't need the hard breach there so much, because to be fair, they probably go for 1 hard breach in a round and that's it. Otherwise, they're looking for ways to assault locations where they've dug in. Things like the mirror with the blitz on the other side, so it's making it very difficult to get into a point. The Twitch can be all you need to just drop that mirror window out and suddenly make the defenders feel very, very exposed.
Again, maybe it just might be the thing that Radix need here, is they've been having a lot of issues with the mirror windows, of course, and this may be the answer to their problems, and it may just allow them to make Xenos in a very, very awkward position again. Once that mirror window does get opened up, It was very, very smart thing there by Kinders, giving his teammate a rotation hole. Instead of being trapped inside that ventilation unit, he is then going to be able to rotate. As we see Kinders get the kill on the Pony. Once again, that's going to be another opening death for Pony. Ooh. And then we do see Fabia push in with that F2 and does get the double kill onto them two roamers downstairs. But we then do see Mel's get the kill on the TW, and now Radix are definitely in the driving seat going into this final half of the round. 4
versus 2 for Radix. Xenos have got the mirror and the echo available. If they can use that echo effectively, we've seen what it can do a couple of times today already. So Radix going to rotate round and try a bit of a different angle to get involved in this stone. They know they can see that he's there. They're going to be able to catch him out there with almost catching him out, but they're going to spray him down. Why? You sat there, Floki, when you heard that explosion go off.
I think he's on his echo drone.
He chooses to stay and gets himself picked off. That's bad news for them in a 4v1, and that's going to be confirming that bad news as Radix take the round and are 1 point away from bringing this into overtime.
Really nice cleanup there from Radix. That happened so fast. I don't even think a thermite wall got blown open. I think possibly Xenos just peaked a lot more than they should have. I think they picked a lot of unnecessary things as anchors inside the bomb site, where they all need to do is sit back. I do see that Wangom is hovering over that fuse, but instead he has choose that ban. I would like to see a fuse, possibly for then a ventilation room and workshop, which would have been quite interesting to see. Is fuse, he's not in the best spot at the moment. He's just too chunky. You can hear him from a mile away. His gadget, a lot of people know how to adapt to it. Once you hear the fuse charge, you run as far as you can.
It's like the most explosives, to be fair. As soon as you hit anything that threatens your life, you run.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And his gun's not the best as well.
Yeah, that's it. It's quite worth mentioning, though, in the 3 rounds we've seen since the reconnect, TW has got no kills. His impact has been non-existent for the most part, and he was a big inspiration point, I feel, for Xenos.
4 rounds, yeah.
Exactly. He was really, really big for them, and it's kind of a shame to see him that he's gone so quiet now. I would like to see him what could be a very, very pivotal round right here. Of course, if Radix win, we go into overtime. If Xenos win, they take the map and take the 2-0. If he can step up in this final round and close the evening out for them, I'm pretty sure they'll be singing his praises for the remainder of this week.
I think Kinders is now starting to get in the gear. I think he's filled the tank up again, and he's starting to get a couple of kills on the board. I would say Floki, a really, really important clutch. Actually, didn't realise how important it is, especially looking at the way it is 4-3 at the moment. One more round, Radix do take it into overtime once again. So it will be interesting to see how this round does play out.
2 external castle walls on B point there. That's a very... I don't know. I'm with you that I don't really like it. If you've got an Ash, especially, it's super easy to clear them out.
Sledge. It gives nothing the way to Sledge.
It's just bizarre. However, there will be no Sledge this time round, so they will be forced to use something at least to clear that out. Whether or not they spend time or resources, it's up to them which they choose to go with.
This here is actually a really underrated spot that a lot of attackers can use. Is that little roof hatch, which then gives complete control over that east stairs area and also the main corridor as well as the lobby. So it's very good at getting rid of any roamers you know are on the east stairs, because whenever typically a roamer does get pushed, she's going to either run downstairs or run in towards the corridor, which is going to be covered by both angles, of course, especially if you have a drone on her. It's going to be really good for getting rid of roamers. No roamers on the east stairs, however, on this game. I believe in the entire series today, we've seen no east stairs roamers, which is quite precarious, because typically we do see a lot of them, because it's very tricky for a lot of the attackers to start trying to push into it.
It's like Christmas
but yeah, for the most part, it does seem to be that it's going to be that east stair take once again.
The very red shiny gun. Gun of death.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can push in. They didn't push it. They've got a minute and a half left to play with here. No one has gone down just yet. And neither side, at the minute, looks to be moving from their current positions. We do have a very slow approach coming in from Xenos. They've spotted out those external castle walls, so they know where a lot of this defense has been set up. Whether or not they now choose to change their path and go somewhere else is down to them. But these drones are going to get next to no intel as they are being picked off very quickly. Pat takes a couple of shells to the shoulder from the aggressors, but doesn't go down. He's going to keep himself nice and cozy. Floki will get himself in there. They'll know that he's laid down just the other side of this wall. They just can't spray him out. In fact, Pat will spray them out.
Kill. And then we're going to see Floki trade him out. There is one way. If that, say for example, that wall was reinforced, that would have made it a lot harder for Xenos to get rid of him. The only way you can get rid of a guy in that position is to go up to the roof, and that little tower area that you have with like the little small windows. you can chuck a frag grenade down to that and it kills them straight away, which is the only option you do have to get rid of somebody in that anchor position. Why you see no mirrors being played there. So that would be again another option for anybody if you are having issues with somebody sitting in that anchor position.
Bomb located by attackers.
Kinder's aggressing forward on the buck. Grenade almost takes Quake's legs off, let alone the rest of him. Doesn't quite manage to take him out at 25% HP left. He's going to be able to hold it here a little longer, but he knows what's coming. They know they're on the way. They're going to rush around the corner, down him and bring him out. Kinders will rush around that corner and bring down Quake now into a 4v3 in favor of Xenos. The kills are racking up for them. They're about to steal this one away. No overtime coming through for Radix. They have one member left to bring down. He is off trying to get back onto the point, but he gets one. It's Pony all on his own in a 1v3, still on full health on this blitz. Can he stage a retake? We've seen several tonight. I'm not sure I have faith, though, in this case, because he hasn't been the biggest stand-up before. We're going to run downstairs. Gets one. Ooh. He has two remaining to bring down. No health lost still. These attackers from Xenos aren't getting anything off of him. However, got to try and push the angle and get the diffuser down. This is going to be a very hard retake. He's already got half the timer down. Trying to do battle on the other side of this bomb. Not yet bringing anyone down. Two angles on him. And Willis will bring him down. Xenos take the second two of the evening and walk away as the fourth game winners.
So really, really good comeback there coming out from Xenos, especially from the depth set. They were in that first map, and then they have been